Why now? Why are we seeing this now?
Well, because it's just the start of the main summer holiday peak. Some schools have broken up already, particularly in Scotland. Others are breaking up in the next week or two. And the government believes that we need to know how to behave in the very unlikely event that there is going to be an attack on the hotel that we're staying in. Yes, as you say, there's all kinds of echoes of that awful atrocity in Tunisia 2 years ago. But basically, I think what the government has done, studied that incident and realised that maybe there were things that if people had behaved a little bit differently, they might have survived. So in particular, the worst that can happen is that people actually freeze. You've ideally, of course, got to get out of the situation. If you can't do that, then hide, and then only when it's safe to do so, tell people what's going on. But I tell you what, I think this belongs in the same category as the flight safety video. Now, I always pay attention to that. I really would urge other people to, because it's extremely unlikely you're going to be involved in an emergency evacuation. But if you are, you need to know how to behave. But then once you've watched these, once you've learned a little from them, then just forget about it. Enjoy your holiday, because actually, statistically, even though terrorism and plane crashes happen, and they are absolutely awful when they do, there are far more risks that you need to worry about, in particular road accidents and accidents in water.
So tell us, at the moment, where is regarded by the Foreign Office as too dangerous to travel?
Well, Tunisia is the country of all the mainstream holiday destinations that you or I would want to go to. Tunisia has been off limits for the last 2 years because of that massacre on the beach in Sousse. Lots of us, including me, would want to head back there as soon as the ban is lifted by the Foreign Office. Indeed, Italians, Germans, French people are already going back on holiday there. The Foreign Office says that, look, it's too dangerous. There's returning jihadis. You've got a long, leaky frontier with Libya. Apart from that, it's actually the airport at Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. And this follows a terrible crash involving a Russian plane, also in 2015. And what happened there was that it's believed an explosive device was placed on board at Sharm el-Sheikh airport.
We're losing
doesn't believe that there are no British airline can fly to Sharm el-Sheikh.
Sorry, Simon, we're losing your link there. Just a second. Interestingly, and I don't know whether we'll actually lose you, so I'm going to say this myself, but it's interesting what Simon says about travel advice. You say, right, OK, and that we're focusing now, and people do get terrified of, oh, my goodness me, you know, are we going to get caught up in a terrorist attack? Far, far more holidaymakers, as Simon says, are much more likely to come to harm. And we said to him, what's your advice? He said, so obviously watch the video and then tackle the bigger risks. Don't drive in Thailand or South Africa, where the roads are extraordinarily dangerous. Don't text whilst you're crossing the road. Make sure you understand how rip currents in the sea work and how to escape them. Never rent a motor scooter on an island in Greece or Thailand after you've had a drink. Always wear a bike helmet. Well, then goes on to say, not always, only when you're riding a bike. But those are the things that are likely to cause us much more damage than this video, which is very, very important.
Sure. I mean, I think that's brilliant advice, and just listing that gives us that feeling of safety, that actually, typically, statistically, you're safe. You're not going to be involved in a terror attack. I do agree that it's really important that we inform everybody about what to do, because being equipped means that even in panic situations, your brain kicks in. You know, when you get that coursing of adrenaline through your body, instead of just panicking wildly, you stop for a minute and gather yourself, and that's what this video is about. I do think you have to be a little bit age appropriate. If you've got primary school kids, I do think they might be a little bit perturbed by this and think that potentially it's going to happen to them. So it's more, how do you actually sit down and have a conversation? Now, there's a thing called Please Explain Terrorism to Me, which is a book that you can get. It's really child-friendly. It enables them to understand fully what the issues are, but also, like you said, to reduce fear, not to incite it, which is what we want to prevent.